some things. There's a gap between who you are and who you want to become. There's a gap between where you are and where you want to be. What helps close the gaps are the small things that we do consistently. So choose to commit over and over and over. And I think that's what you did today, is you're recommitted. Who feels recommitted? Yes. Moving toward our greatest potential never feels great, but it always affects change. It's most often dirty and hard work. It comes from things that are done well when no one is around and no one is watching. Who are you when no one is around? The storms will come. If you haven't prepared for the storms and hard times, you'll be swept away when they happen. And that's what I love about this business. It prepares you for the hard times, because they're going to come. That's life. They're going to come. Life has up and down. The Lord never said that he'll keep us from hard times. He just says he will be there through the hard times. So we got to be prepared for those. God is always for us. He will always have our back, and he'll always get us on track. Some people wear busyness like a badge of honor. Are you busy or are you productive? You choose your schedule every single day. Choose wisely. You choose what you ignore every day. You choose what you will give your time to every day. The bottom line is that we make time and give our time to what we value. The problem is some of us value busy. It makes us feel good. Study has shown it releases the dopamine in our brains when we're busy. But are we effective? I'm so grateful. Hear me when I say that. I'm so grateful. I really thought about, am I effective? Are you effective? Don't you want everything that Mary Kay has? Don't you want everything?
Yes.
Yes. Thanks, Kay. Maybe it's time to stop treating what you do as a hobby and start being deliberate about what you do and make it your craft. I didn't set my timer right. Gives you hope. Maybe it's time to say no to instant gratification and yes to investing in yourself. It's so easy to get swept up in some urgent things that require attention, but have you found days that you got to make sure for the most important thing? Maybe it's time to be prayerful where you should spend your time and put your feet to the floor and go be productive. The comfort zone is a place where things are familiar with, are easy and sane. The learning zone, in this zone we fail, we struggle, we become frustrated. Many want to quit here during this transition. However, leadership is about encouraging and working through failure, knowing it's coming. When we're in a place that we're in a learning zone, getting feedback and support and naming it part of the journey and not running from it. The panic zone is far outside from the comfort zone and learning zone. It's where we have to manage our emotions because we want to quit. If I had every top three directors stand up, has there ever been a moment that you said, I don't know if I can do it again. I don't know if I can do this another day. Have you ever just wanted to quit? But you didn't. But you didn't, right? I think I heard you say that from the stage. You can't quit. You learn to manage your emotions. It doesn't mean that you won't ever have those feelings. It means that you manage them and you push them through. Push right through. Once you master a skill, what Kristen taught you today, you master that skill, you will have it for a lifetime. I told the directors yesterday that I always remind new consultants that you master a skill of a skincare class, and that skill will serve you for the rest of your life, because you will always be able to make money. You will always be able to put food on the table. You'll always be able to pay that one bill that is stressing you out. You learn that skill that you just learned, and it will serve you for a lifetime. I have no idea why this thing is going off. I'm going to have to turn it off probably. So, do I just give you guys hope? I know I just give you guys hope. So, learn to find your value. And hear me when I say this. Learn to find your value outside of what you do, or you will let the hard times give you your identity. You'll let the hard times give you your identity. Know that you are wonderfully made, powerfully and wonderfully made. Maturity comes from looking at our challenging situations and know that we have the opportunity to change it. No one else can do it for us. We have to do it ourselves. Remember, you can't please everyone, but when you continually try and do the right thing, that you will please most people most of the time. Some just can't be pleased. Move into leadership. Don't be afraid of what you don't know. You'll learn it along the way. How long have you been stuck in the same place? Don't work harder, work smarter. Surround yourself with people that are wiser than you. Greatness is far from sexy. Mainly it's dirty work. Sometimes it's the hardest work. It's often boring, repetitive, and it's always a huge responsibility. Don't believe the hype. Grab a broom and go to work. Everyone thinks they want greatness until they see what greatness requires. I have a theory that if you give 100% all the time, somehow things just always work out and seem to go your way. Talent is never enough. With few exceptions, the best players are the hardest workers. We must check our attitude, our gratitude, our effort, how we treat others. We must have good self-talk. We must have good body language. Small mistakes and failures individually or with the team are actually healthy and good. We learn from mistakes and we take the lessons and we leave the rest. Don't think a mistake is the end. It can be a setup for your best. Model, teach, and watch people and teach people to build their house. We don't need fancy training to change our current situation. We can focus on creating some new normals. Choose your attitude. You guys, I really have no idea why this keeps going off. So I think that is so funny. Maybe if I just turn it off. So there we go. What is costing you not doing what you need to do? What is it costing you? How long have you talked to your husband? How long have you told your friend? How long have you told your family that you would achieve a goal that's so embedded in your heart? Isn't it time? Isn't it time? Don't be a perfectionist because it hurts more people than it helps. Seek out people who are in love with the process of becoming great, even though the process is hard and requires growth. Seek out those who want mentorship and to go the next step. People who want mentoring will receive truth, which creates trust, which creates transparency, which creates growth. Stop begging and pleading to join Mary Kay. Stop begging and pleading. Go be the example that they want to be part of your mission. You will have people you've only dreamed of on your team. The faster we recognize that our values do not go up or down based on our performance, the more we can manage our emotions, have healthier relationships, and find peace in the process. Success isn't a straight-up journey. A simple commitment can change the entire trajectory of a person's life. We hold a position of leadership. Make sure your words and actions are being used in a way that multiplies people. Your unspoken words and body language speak loud. We judge people with a different measure than we judge ourselves. We look at others and we think that they may do little, but we look at ourselves and we think that we do lots. If we really evaluate ourselves as we evaluate others, we'll raise our bar. Praise people on who are they becoming, and it will energize them. Tell them who they are, who they're becoming. Tell them their gifts and their talents, not what their weaknesses are. Laugh when you mess up. Love bigger and smile more. Train to get better versus training to feel better. Move from what if to even if. This changes everything. Move from what if to even if. I'll do it anyway. Changes everything. Don't quit. Persevere. Trust. Be courageous. Live a joyful life. Just because we feel it doesn't make it true. Our feelings lie to us all the time. And so as I look at just life lessons of Mary Kay, there's many, but I think about Cheryl Steinman as she told me the story, and I thought, sometimes I forget what Mary Kay went through to build this company, what she's been through to give us the choices that we have, to give me a retirement, an amazing retirement, and I'm so very grateful. So directly from Mary Kay herself to Cheryl to me, here's the story. She said, it's a wonderful story. She said, I'm humbled and awestruck at Mary Kay's remarkable story. We know Mary Kay's father became ill, and so Mary Kay's mom had to go to work outside the home. So a lot of responsibility was left on Mary Kay. She had to cook, she had to clean, she had to take care of her father. Life was hard. She married young, but her husband asked for a divorce after returning from service. She was a young, divorced, single mom. How remarkable, she worked for 2 major corporations. She was passed over by jobs because she was a single woman. She was discriminated against time and time again. It was looked down upon to be a divorced woman in the 40s and 50s. She said even at church she was looked down upon, and that women who were single and doing it, trying to keep their family together, it was very hard. So she said dealing with being looked down upon, that when she would complain about not making as much, they said, Mary Kay, these men have families to support. And she would say, don't I have a family to support? Just in that cell, she knew that she wanted to do something different. She knew that she was on the outside of what other people felt. It's never easy. She said she could have been bitter, but this was not who she wanted to be. So in the meantime, she meets George. George is a very astute businessman, and they fall in love and they get married. And he told Mary Kay, you don't have to work, you don't have to put up with that, you can take an early retirement. So she decided to take all the wrongs that had been done to her, write it all down, put it in she was gonna write a book, and what she wrote, as we know, is the marketing plan to our company. It's the marketing plan and business plan, and George, being a smart man, said, oh my gosh, this is a business plan, we should start a business. So at that time, she's using the skincare products made from a hide tanner. He's using them on hides, and he is a crusty old guy, and noticed that his hands were looking great, so he starts marketing this product. Well, he dies, so his granddaughter inherits the business and starts making the product out of her kitchen. So Mary Kay uses it out of little jars and buys it from her, and George said, why don't we sell this product? Well, Mary Kay goes to the granddaughter, she buys the rights to this product, sets up manufacturing. You go, Mary Kay, do you just not love that? Sets it up, they set up manufacturing by retail space. This cost them $5,000 in 1963. In 1963, $5,000 would buy a house. So this is all they had, every single penny. So here they are, middle-aged, investing everything they own in a business, and that if it fails, they're in trouble. They start the business, 9 sales reps who are all friends of Mary Kay, or contemporaries of George. Daleen White was George's personal assistant. So 30 days before the business opened, George drops dead at the kitchen table of a massive heart attack. Somehow, we seem to skip over that fact, and how stressful that must be. You know, it's just kind of a piece of the story, but think about that. Right before she was supposed to open, George dies of a heart attack. He's the money guy, right? She's the salesperson. She's out doing that. He dies. So somehow, you know, we forget that stressful part. It was probably from stress that he did die. So and that's what Cheryl said from Mary Kay, that, you know, it's probably stress. So everything is invested into the business. George dies. You're dealing with a huge loss, confusion, funeral to pay for, no money. Can you imagine where Mary Kay was? Daleen White, who was one of the original 9 consultants, the first director and the first national sales director of Mary Kay, said that all 9 sales reps said to Mary Kay, surely you're not going to open this business. Surely, Mary Kay, you're not going to do this. Mary Kay said what they didn't realize was they had to open the business. If she didn't, she'd be homeless. She said there was no turning back. There was no more money. It was all invested. Everything was spent. So the company does a great job and give us a rosy story about the 9. But really, it was one sales rep, Daleen and Mary Kay, and this is from Mary Kay, who went out and built that business. They opened Friday the 13th, and that was who was out there really working. 9 were there, but she said it was Darlene and Mary Kay that went out and built this business. So it opened on Friday the 13th. When it started, but Daleen White said it started with 9, but truly it started Daleen, Mary Kay, Richard, Mary Kay's son, Ron Trammell, some of you may remember him, who retired, and a man named Jerry Allen. And that is who started the company. Ron Trammell was the box boy. You guys remember Ron Trammell. And so Cheryl said 10 years later, when she joined the company, Mary Kay was in 3 countries. 10 years later, it was in 3 countries. Today, we're in over 47 countries: China, Malaysia, Thailand, Philippines, Korea, etc. All through communist countries. Think about that. Just think about that. Think about Mary Kay, what she went through, all the places we are now. Mary Kay didn't just have a dream, she lived her dream. She faced the unknown, the fears, the grieving, all the emotions that you could possibly imagine. She dared to dream. In the moment, we may not realize the dream that is planted in our own hearts. While God only gave Mary Kay the vision, probably from an hour at a time, some days. She faced the unknown, she trusted, and she worked. She could have had a great excuse. My husband died, we invested all our money, I'm broke, depressed, and lived a sad life, but she chose to move forward. We choose to walk out the dream that's been laid upon our hearts. God didn't just have Mary Kay in mind. God had you in mind when he planted the seed of greatness in Mary Kay. You know, God chooses to work through people, and he has chosen to work through Mary Kay in such a big way, in such a big way. It isn't just about us. We're vehicles in a much bigger picture. The blessings in store for us go far beyond us. Before she passed, she lived long enough that she died in 2001. A letter from these two missionaries from China, because Mary Kay didn't talk about her faith, she lived it. She made sure that everyone that was going to represent Mary Kay were in other countries were Christians. So the guy that runs China, and Cheryl didn't have his name, he was a devout Christian. So this man who ran China promised and vowed to Mary Kay that everyone in China would be immersed in Mary Kay's philosophies, which if you study those philosophies, they're God's words. Reap what you sow, as a man thinketh. Without vision, people perish. Golden rule, love your neighbor. All her basic foundation philosophy were biblical principles. So this man who is head of China teaches all the women who come into Mary Kay the philosophy of God first, family second, career third, and in that order. And the women are so hungry for the opportunity, they say, we will take Mary Kay's God, we just don't know who he is. And so the letter from China said, Mary Kay. So these two missionaries sent Mary Kay a letter before she died that said, Mary Kay, so many will be saved in China because of this opportunity that you started so many years ago. Wow. Wow. Do you think that Mary Kay thought about that as she was just one day at a time, trying to make it work, trying to get herself back up, one day at a time, making someone feel special? I'm so grateful. God chooses to root through people. Mary Kay walked with the Lord, and here we are today. And so I know you are as grateful as I am. So Mary Kay, how did you know that we all needed this amazing opportunity? I know you got me over there. Oh, there. I think I turned it off. So how did you know, Mary Kay? How did you know?
Dear Mary Kay, you have mentored so many of us. And did you know that we, your nationals and directors, welcome our responsibility to pass on our heritage here and in every country we open? And Mary Kay, how did you know that we would forever be blessed by following the golden rule, taking God as our partner and keeping our priorities in order? And Mary Kay, did you know we were watching when you were kind to the waitresses, maids, mailmen, cooks, clerks, and that we learned it's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice? And did you know when your husband Mel passed away and you still attended the conference in St. Louis, you taught us strength and commitment and responsibility and to put on a happy face? And did you know that we were always confident that you and our company would do the right thing? And that gave us security, and we learned integrity. And did you know we were watching when you stood in your heels for hours and hours, greeting each of us warmly, that you taught us tolerance and humility and patience? And did you know that we saved all your letters, and that your thank you notes taught us to do the same, and the importance of gratitude and appreciation? And Mary Kay, how did you know that when you stood firm to dressing like a lady while current trends were different, that you taught us fashion is fickle and style is always, and that we would one day be identified with class and style? And Mary Kay, did you know that your nationals, the keepers of your dream, would one day reach 200 and then 300 and on, and that we would cherish the privilege to represent you? And did you know that when you were no longer able to be with us physically, we felt your presence still and your love, and we welcomed the responsibility to carry on your legacy even more? And did you know way back when that one day you would establish a charitable foundation inspired with our support And from that, we experienced joy and learned humanitarianism. And Mary Kay, did you have any idea that one day we would join hands and hearts, creating a loving sisterhood around the world? Because though we speak different languages, we all embrace the same Mary Kay principles and philosophies. And did you know that the business and people skills you taught us would one day be quoted, copied, envied, published, embraced, and admired by many from all walks of life? And Mary Kay, do you have any idea the multitude of lives that have been touched because of you and your dream? Not only ours, but our children's and their children's and all the children still to come. You always said we'd make a difference in this old world, and we are. And lastly, Mary Kay, do you know that our hearts beat in sync with yours? We're proud of our heritage and traditions in you. We know we're special, and God is smiling with approval, and we believe the best is yet to come.
You have to embrace your dream with all of your might and work at it every single day with love-filled intensity. We have a mission to share our love and our energies and our hopes and our dreams and our superior products and our abundant way of life. And in doing this, you will be blessed beyond measure with all the riches of life. This is what we call living the Mary Kay dream.
So Mary Kay, how did you know? She walked with the Lord, and that's how she knew. She knew what we needed as women, as families, to live our value system. So what I pray is you leave today with a big dream in your heart. I see the tears of the new consultants. How fun is that? Lives are changed from events like this. So I pray you leave here today and remember that this opportunity Mary Kay created with you in mind. God bless you guys. Have a great end of the year. We've got 4 months left. Go make your dreams come true. God bless you guys.